everyone,
Right.
Okay. For any of you who have children, you know that television is almost a shrine to them. Eyes glued to the screen for almost every hour of the day. A form of media that offers you up-to-the-minute news, a dramatic series, a comical cartoon, the television has soared over the years in popularity with the world and can now offer over 1,000 channels. But besides the news and the common comical cartoon from Disney Channel, some television shows are more questionable in the influence they give to our children. Violence in television has lately shown an influence with today's youth generation. Recent research links that the violence presented through the television is directly related to the increase in violent levels in today's youth. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry estimates that a teenager will spend about 3 to 4 hours a day watching television. Already, the time is spent in front of the television takes away from important activities such as reading, schoolwork, playing, exercise, and social interactions with others. When violence is implemented into the formula, more concerning consequences come along with it. Psychological research shows 3 major effects of seeing graphic material they are seeing violence on television. Among these 3, children may be less sensitive to the graphic material they are watching. They may also become more fearful of the world around them. Finally, children watching violent television could result in behavior that is more aggressive and harmful towards them and others. As stated by the Federal Trade Commission on the influence of violent entertainment material on kids, being exposed to a vast amount of violent television would possibly reduce the shock value of the content and make it seem as if it is all right to take place. These consequences can thankfully be resolved, in most cases, with the help of the family. The American Psychological Association believes parental discretion is among the simple ways to reduce the amount of violence their child watches. Simply set time aside to watch the programs their child generally views and assess the amount of violence and if it is influencing your child's behavior. If the amount of violence exceeds your expected level, sit down with your child after the program and talk about the violence exhibited. Discuss how the violence in the episode came about, how it's not right, and whether or not if the character handled the situation correctly. All of these methods ensures the child understands the magnitude of violence and puts them in perspective that even though it's an often occurrence on television, it shouldn't be in the case in his life. Many don't realize the direct effect violence on television has on their children. After watching extensive episodes involving violence, the child recognizes it as a common occurrence. It makes the child believe these actions are acceptable in our society as well. Research conducted by the American Psychological Association monitored children in the amount of violence they watch. Researchers who formed the study followed children from 8 years old into their 30s. They found that children who had watched violent television programs when they were 8 were later found convicted of felonies and prosecuted for criminal acts when they became adults. If this issue is left unattended, we would be sure to see more crimes and acts of violence in our society that could directly affect us. Also, how would you feel if one of your own children became a criminal as a result of watching violent television? To prevent these things from happening to our children, we need to take action. By simply monitoring the shows your child is watching, we can ensure they obtain the proper society characteristics and refrain from many of the violent actions exhibited on television. Explaining to your child why the violence on television differs from reality, or simply blocking the show by using your parental controls your cable provider offers, are also simple ways to intervene these characteristics from influencing children. Television is used for a variety of useful purposes. It offers up-to-the-minute news, weather, teaches how to dress, cook, and decorate. The list goes on and on. However, everything we watch on television influences our behaviors to an extent. A prime example of negative influence is violence on television. Children who watch programming with violence are more likely to become accustomed to it, thus lessening the shock value, lose proper societal characteristics, and repeat violent actions seen on television into real life, resulting in consequences as ultimate as going to jail. Action must be taken to ensure our society isn't overcome with the changes that result from watching violent television.